Hello and welcome to our special interview on West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting from Dakar. I'm Serif Bojang Jr. Thanks for joining us. On January 26, thousands of Gambians gathered at the Banjul International Airport to welcome their new president, Adama Barrow, who had taken shelter in the Senegalese capital as part of security measures following ex-president Yahya Jammeh's refusal to step down after losing the December 2016 election. His return, backed by sub-regional troops led by Senegal, solidified his position as the Gambia's commander-in-chief. On January 18, Barrow was sworn in for the second time at the Gambia's Independence Stadium just outside Banjul as thousands of people thronged the venue to celebrate their new president officially taking over the mantle of leadership. His election victory had ushered in a new dawn of freedom after 22 years of what was widely seen as brutal dictatorship under Jammeh. In the Barrow administration, Gambians saw an opportunity for democracy, progress, and prosperity. So almost 6 months on, has the administration succeeded so far or on track in keeping the hopes of the Gambian people alive? My guest is President Adama Barrow. Mr. President, welcome to West Africa Democracy Radio.
Thank you, Serif Bojang Jr.
A little over a year ago, your current status was unthinkable for perhaps most Gambians. Contesting for any political office wasn't you or wasn't for you, and it took a lot of efforts from your party to persuade you into contesting for presidency. Today you are the commander-in-chief. Almost 6 months into your presidency, do you think you've made the right choice in contesting?
Mr. Bojang, I think I made the right choice to contest for office. This is national duty. That makes it unique. Gambia was at a crossroad and they needed somebody to rescue this country. And I was called. I answered to the call and I think people were together. We were united. That unity gives us a lot of strength, a lot of power. That's why we are able to get Yahya Jammeh out with all his money, with all his power, with all security with him, but we were able to dislodge him. So definitely, I think it was something worth. That is part of my legacy. Nobody can take that from me.
And what do you appreciate the most about your job so far?
It's a very difficult job. It's not one of the best jobs. But I love you for one thing. Whatever I am doing here, I'm doing it for the Gambian people. And out of 1.8 million people, if you are trusted, that is something great. And I love that.
People say you're becoming more and more presidential. You're becoming more comfortable in especially public speech. What do you owe that to?
That is right. In everything that you're doing, you have a learning process. To me, the 6 months was a learning process for me. And as you learn, you improve. That's why I think it is changing. We are improving.
And you've always lived a very humble life, a very down-to-earth man. Now, as president, all eyes are on you. Your every move is scrutinized. Even your words are scrutinized. Even what you wear are scrutinized and critiqued and analyzed by Gambians, both at home and in the diaspora, especially on the social media. Do these affect your humility in any way, your nature as a humble person?
It doesn't affect me at all. I remain very humble. I remain the same person, and I will continue to be the same person. In anything you do in life, you must be criticized, especially if you are president. But you always learn from whatever, whether it is negative criticism, whether it is positive or whatever, but you learn from it.
By the way, are you on the social media? Do you see some of the praises and criticisms about you and your administration?
As a president, I'm always informed about whatever is going on. Get the information. But to me, the social media was part of my team. The social media contributed a lot, bringing me to power. The social media contributed a lot to educate Gambians to decide which way to take. So I think the social media remain still our partners in developing this country.
And let's look at some issues now. You promised reforms to fix the mess created by your predecessor, Yahya Jammeh. 6 months on, Mr. President, what can Gambians look at today and say, thank God for the change for President Barrow and his administration?
Mr. Bojan, there are a lot of things that Gambians can look at. One, the freedom. The media. The media is enjoying the Gambia for the past 6 months. And the reforms have also started. There are a lot of people who were dismissed, wrongful dismissal, have been reinstated. The political prisoners. There are a lot of human rights abuses. We have reformed the National Intelligence Service, the NIA. First time if you mention the NIA, everybody is scared.
But some say that will mean that seems like an old wine in a new bottle, still the same office, which is a stark reminder of atrocities meted out to Gambians for 22 years.
The same office, but they are a different thing completely. For the past 6 months, you are a journalist. You have never been informed that the NIA have detained anybody. And I think that is a good thing for this country. And I think that will bring another signal to Gambians that we are very serious with our reforms.
And Gambia's backbone, the food basket, agriculture, was a mess during Jammeh's time. We've seen how he used the name agriculture to exploit Gambia and Gambians and our economy. What strategies do you have, your administration have, to revive the agriculture sector?
We believe that the backbone of this country is agriculture. A lot of people are connected to agriculture. Agriculture is the biggest employer. And because of that, we want to reform the agriculture. We want to bring in farming techniques. We are selling the Gambia for people to invest in agriculture. New farming techniques, especially irrigation farming, so that we can keep on farming for the whole year.
On the economic front, when you came to power, you said your government inherited a bankrupt economy. We've seen, since you came to power first, 50 million euro from China dedicated to the building of the new International Conference Center. And we've recently, the announcement by the Interior Minister, $48 million for a forensic lab. A lot of people, Mr. President, say this is misplaced priorities in consideration of the fact that the Gambia is in such an economic mess. What do you say? Do we need a forensic lab, International Conference Center?
Gambia is to host the RC, and we have to get a center to organize this conference. And more or less, it is a grant that China is giving to the Gambia. I think that is very important. Forensic lab is a private investment. If people want to invest in this country, into such state-of-the-art lab, I think we will not say no. But one thing is important. Our priority is to fix the economy. And this money will bring a lot of foreign exchange into this country.
And then we talk about the social media and the criticisms. Among these many criticisms, a key among them is that your presidency has been hijacked by your inner circle, that you just a ceremonial figure. You're not in control. Mr. President, who is in control? Who is in charge?
I am in control. Nobody is in control but Adama Barrow. Because at the end of the day, whatever happens, if anything goes wrong, I'll be the one who will be blamed. And the Gambian people voted for me to be president. I have people in my government that I respect. I have high regards for them. And I'm a person who consults a lot. I consult people.
And you are a good listener.
I'm a good listener, and I consult a lot. I think consultation is not a crime. But at the end of the day, it is my decision, not anybody else.
And your ministers are obliged to declare their assets in the spirit of transparency and probity. First, how many of them have so far declared their assets?
We have started the process. The process is on. Some have completed, and some have been given 2 weeks to complete the declaration. But at the end of the day, everybody will declare his assets in the interest of transparency and accountability.
And after they've declared it to the Ombudsman and to you, will these assets be made public for broader scrutiny, broader transparency, and broader probity?
I don't think we are making them public because there must be some kind of privacy. But the Ombudsman is an independent body that can represent Gambians. I think that is enough.
On security front, reports of this intel report from the Senegalese authorities alleging or suggesting that there are some soldiers who were loyal to former President Jammeh, and they deserted there in Mauritania, Guinea-Bissau, and Guinea-Conakry, and might launch an attack against the Gambia. Mr. President, are you aware of this intel report? Anybody made this to you?
Well, you expect such things, such informations, because of the man who was here in this helm of affairs. But at the end of the day, I think even if such threats are there, they are in the minority. I think the majority of the Gambian armed forces are loyal to this government.
So you trust the army?
I trust the army. I trust the army. That's why we are doing a lot of things to make sure we improve their status.
And a lot of people love you and they're concerned about your security. Do you feel secure?
I feel that my security is intact. And I believe that the army and the foreign forces are working together in the interest of this nation.
And one would wonder why you're still not in the presidential palace, because my understanding is for lack of security at the time.
No, not lack of security. There is a lot of maintenance that should be done in that state house. But we believe maybe in the next 2 months or so, if the maintenance is finished, I will move to the state house.
And even when economic troops led by Senegal leave the country, you think security will still be intact?
We are working very hard for Gambian security forces to take their responsibility. Foreign forces will not be here forever. And that is our priority.
And let's look at trade and employment quickly. Gambia is open for business because there is peace, freedom, and democracy. More and more foreign contractors will come in and will want to compete with locals for our jobs, contracts, especially from the government. What is your government going to do to protect Gambian contractors, for example, and prioritize them when it comes to businesses that might be shipped out to local foreign contractors?
Gambian and Gambian business is our priority. That's why it is a part of our policies that any foreign business have to get Gambian partnership. Because we believe that with Gambian partnership, the share of Gambia will remain in the Gambia, and the Gambian representative will represent Gambia as an ambassador in any business. And one day, that Gambian also, it can be a learning process for him to create such a business or inherit that business. So Gambians and Gambian businesses are top in our priority.
The vice presidential issue. Currently, as I speak to you, we don't have a vice president. We have an overseer of the office of the vice president. Mr. President, how long will this continue?
Very soon this issue will be over. We will have a vice president. It's a constitutional mandate that we have to get a vice president.
Will it be Fatmata Tambajang?
We will get a new vice president very soon.
And my last question, the EU turned its back on the Gambia during Jammeh's time, and one of the issues with Jammeh is the issue of homosexuality. EU is back with the Gambia, and this issue will be tabled again before you. What is your government's position on the issue of homosexuals as human rights issue?
I said it once. Homosexuality is not an issue in the Gambia. I don't think it's an issue in the Gambia. I think that is not the issue. We have other issues that are more important than homosexuality.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
You're most welcome, Sheriff Wajan.
Our special guest and Gambian President Adama Barrow on West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting from the beautiful Senegalese capital Dakar. From me, Serif Bujang Jr. and all my colleagues on production, thanks for listening and bye-bye.